Hey everyone, happy Wellness Wednesday. Today I am going over different routines that you can, or if you choose not to, you don't have to, implement to support your hormones. My intention for Wellness Wednesdays is to share things that I have learned along the way. It is in no way intended to be medical advice. So please take what you want with this and leave behind what you don't. Today, I am sharing hormones, and this is a topic that I love to talk about because when I first got involved with holistic lifestyle shifts, the hormones was one of the things that I really wanted to focus in on. And at the time, I thought I was pretty healthy. I was, a big runner at that time. I thought I was eating pretty healthy. If you looked at me, you would think I was pretty healthy. But what I didn't realize was hormonally I had all sorts of things going on, and I was trying what was I mentioned on Monday that our body will whisper or it will yell. Well, part of the whisper and yelling that was happening from my body was I had a lot of skin issues, and that was for me and my body a way of signaling that something was going on hormonally. And so once I started to make those shifts, then all of a sudden my skin cleared up. And so what I wanted to share today is just some tools that can be added in, and then you can become your own advocate. You can become empowered with your own information. And so I just am here to share things that I have picked up, and then you'd get to do the rest. So the first thing that I want to share is this book by Dr. Marisa Snyder. It's awesome. It's called The Essential Oil Hormone Solution, and she does such a good job of explaining how hormones work, with going over how essential oils can support the hormones. It's a really, 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 really good book. So that one is awesome. And then the other book is The Symphony of the Cells. And that's a great resource that goes over different protocols. There's a hormonal protocol in there, and that's a layering technique with essential oils. If you haven't met me before, I am very, very, very passionate about using doTERRA's oils. So I would suggest that you get into using high quality essential oils if you're wanting to use more of a holistic modality to support your body. If you're not yet involved with doTERRA, reach out. I'll help you get started. But this is a great resource for that. So for both of those. Now I'm going to share things that I have found. And some of them are nutrition things, and some of them are supports and different things that I've added in. So the first thing for me that really changed how I looked at my hormones was understanding that it's not just, oh, I'm hormonal because it's that time of the month. Our hormones are impacted by so many different things, and we are exposed to chemicals all day, every day. Our ancestors were exposed to as many toxins that we are in one day in their entire life. Like, we're exposed to a lot. Comes in through our food, through our environment, through the things that we slather on our skin, through the things that we breathe. And so the biggest shift, I think, was understanding that, because then everything trickled from there. Understanding that all of the air fresheners that I was breathing in, I was creating this fishbowl of toxicity in my environment where my hormones basically couldn't catch a break. When we have all of these chemicals, so everything that we put on our skin goes into our bloodstream, everything that we are smelling goes into our bloodstream. And so shifting out, swapping out candles, swapping out air fresheners, and using something natural instead. Now, for me, it was getting a diffuser going, because I really like walking into my house and it smelling good. I really like that. And so a diffuser was a great way without all of the chemicals. And then having air freshener sprays that are made with essential oils rather than having the chemical versions. And so just little swaps like that. But then also understanding that the foods that I was eating a lot of soy at that time, thinking that that was helpful. But for me, it was disrupting my hormones big time. So all of these things, the way that I describe it as, we have our hormones are like a kid playing on the playground. And when we have all of these chemicals coming into our body, it's kind of like there's a bully on the playground and it's knocking the kid down. When we start adding in more holistic modalities, it's like the bully gets taken off of the playground. And so for me, drinking making those switches, but then also shifting out my laundry detergent, my skincare routines, my cleaning products, all of those things, and using something natural instead. And that's what I love about doTERRA is it just so easily swapped out all of the things that I was already using just in a healthier way. And so that was a big shift for my hormones. The other thing is drinking a citrus oil just to help with that bully on the playground and getting that get off the playground. So that was another thing. And when you're doing that, you just want to make sure that you're using a glass cup. So then you put a couple of drops of the oils in your water, and it just is great for that bully on the playground. The other thing that made a huge impact in my life was the lifelong vitality and the phytoestrogen. So let me talk about both of those for just a second. Lifelong vitality is doTERRA's vitamin pack. And it has 3 parts. There's Microplex, which is your whole food supplement. There's XE Omega, which is your omega. And then there's Alpha CRS, which I joke is the can't remember shit. It's for brain support and cellular repair and cellular healthy cell duplication. And what I didn't realize, because I was taking a multivitamin before I was introduced to doTERRA, what I didn't know was that when we purchase an over-the-counter vitamin, oftentimes it has synthetics and fillers in it. And when it goes into our body's like, hey, I don't know what this is. What the heck? And we end up excreting the majority of it. So it's really important that we're looking at whole food supplementation so that we can give our body the nutrients that it needs to support itself. And so that the nutrients can come in and our body knows what to do with it. An apple today is nutritionally, one apple from the 1950s is equivalent to 100 apples today nutritionally. Our food doesn't have the same nutrient component that it did before. And so even eating a super clean, healthy, well-balanced meal plan still doesn't have the same nutrients that it did 50 years ago, 70 years ago. So that's where the Microplex comes in. XE Omega was one of the things that I didn't realize. So if we are needing that, oftentimes our menstrual cycle is painful. We're craving really fatty foods. We're needing, extra support there with our skin. And so XE Omega is great for that. What's cool about the XE Omega is it also has essential oils in it that help with the body's cellular function. So that's an added benefit. And then the Alpha CRS is the cellular repair. So you take all 3 of them and it helped tremendously. The phytoestrogen, I describe that as an additional support to help keep that bully off of the playground. So that's another supplement and kind of taking both. So I think between swapping out the chemicals in my environment, adding in those, starting to shift out of eating as much soy and just paying attention. Soybean oil creeps in everything. I didn't realize until I started with that. And then more recently, what I've been understanding is how important it is to have our blood sugar regulated. And so that's where I started to really step into the new MetaPower line, which you can go in the YouTube channel. And I have a whole workshop that I shared about MetaPower. So you can jump over there and watch that. But that was another thing more recently that I've added in that has made a huge difference. But just kind of like taking it as a stepping stone. In the very beginning, it was the supplements. And then I think like a year later, it was when I made the cleaning product shifts. So it doesn't have to be all at once because it can be a lot of new routines, but just making small shifts to start changing the trajectory of our hormonal balance. So that is it for today. I hope that this was helpful. Take what you want, leave behind the rest. If you have questions, you can go to my website, www.yourlifefuel.com. You can follow me on Instagram @yourlifefuel, or you can reach out by email, Katrina@yourlifefuel.com. All right. Have a good day, everyone.